Hey everybody, it's Marissa. Wanted to take a minute to share my story with you guys. Okay, why I am passionate about oils is my story. I cannot even tell you how much they have changed my family's life. I know you hear this from everybody, you hear this from a lot of people that oils are great. And they are. They're not lying to you. They are telling you the truth. Oils can change people's lives. Can it cure you? No, it can't. It's not a magic fix. It's like all the other home remedies. Some work, some don't. Oils happen to work. Uh, they do help ease pain. They do help ease arthritis. They do help make you feel better. They do help you sleep. They do help you do so many things, but they do not cure you. Well, this is my story, and I hope you guys enjoy it and why I'm so passionate about oils. It all begins back around when I was 26 years old. I got really fat really quick, and I thought I was having another baby. But my husband had just lost his insurance at work. So I did what everybody else does. I decided I'd go to the hospital, get a pregnancy test done so I could go and apply for assistance. Because, contrary to what many of you believe or think, I used to be dirt poor. You are when you start out and you get married and you have kids. All of us start out. Okay, so back to that. When I got to the hospital and they did the test and I looked like I was carrying twins and I was 6 months pregnant, it wasn't a baby. It was a tumor. It was a 4.5 pound tumor, and it was ovarian cancer. Our world was turned upside down. I had two very small children, and not many people beat ovarian cancer. So I spent a while in the hospital, and I spent a while going back and forth to the doctors, and I developed panic attacks and anxiety. And any of you that have had that, you know how terrible that is. You cannot stop it. You cannot help what brings it on. It just happens. The first thing to do, they put me on Paxil. They say, you need this. They don't tell me that it's a habit forming drug. They tell you that, it's good for you. It's not going to hurt you. Take it. You're going to be fine. It's going to help you. You trust a doctor. They've been to school. They know it. So I did it. Things got better. Things got really better. I got well, and I happened to have what was called dysgerminoma, which is out of all the ovarian cancers in the world, you pull 2% out of that, and it happened to be what I have. And that is a very high cure rate on that. So I beat it. But during all this, I'm still taking that Paxil, and I'm taking that estrogen because I don't have anything. So I don't have ovaries. I had a complete hysterectomy. I'm depressed at this point because I can't have no more kids. And, you always have that thought, is it going to come back? Is it going to come back? So at that point in time, I realized I had to do something. And this is my what and why. And I tell you guys to go back to your what and why. This is my what and why. What was I going to do? And my why were my children. So fast forward, after all my educating and everything I did to get this far, last year, first year of our business, going live as a direct sales company, I basically become paralyzed almost. And I was overnight. Nobody knew what was going on. It just, boom. I went from walking, talking fine to completely slurring my words, my arms shaking nonstop, and my legs no longer working. And extreme pain had set in. Started going to neurologists, doctors. They're just once again throwing pills at me. They threw every pill at me in the book, and it wasn't helping, wasn't stopping it. And nobody could figure out what was going on. And finally, I had a brain scan done, and they found out it was Chiari. Now, Chiari is where your brain doesn't fit in your skull. And I like to say that's just because I'm smarter than most people. But it doesn't fit in your skull, and it crushes your spinal cord, and it causes extreme problems with your back. So I have every back ailment you can think of, from bone spurs to arthritis to collapsed discs to bulging discs to scoliosis. Anything you can imagine wrong with your back, I got. Now, being every nerve to your body comes from your back, what had happened is just they basically were crushing my nerves at that point, and I needed help. So I finally got my surgery September 30th after begging and going through every possible thing in the book. Epidurals, morphine, codeine, Percocets, you name it. It was just being thrown at me. Gabapentin, just, and I remember calling in the middle of the night just crying, please make it stop. Please make this stop. And I get teary just thinking about it because it was a horrible, horrible time in our life. And I had somebody come up to me and say, after my surgery, have you ever tried oils? And I laughed because I thought, yeah, right. Oils, you got to be joking me. You lady, get on with that mess. You're crazy. I take morphine and this doesn't take this pain away. You know, what in the world do you think an oil rubbed on my body's going to do? So I am the skeptical person. I don't believe in anything like that going to work. So she gave me a sample. And I thought, okay, I'll try it. And at the time, I was on so many medications around the clock that I don't even know if it worked or not, to be honest. But it was somewhere around the 2 to 3 week mark after my surgery. I realized I could not live on these medicines. Horrible things were happening. I had to go live with my in-laws basically because of things like I couldn't keep up with when to take my medicine. They were finding me like sleeping outside in the middle of the night, just, crazy things. Because that's what medicine does to you when you're on a bunch of it, crazy things. So I decided this was not the life for me, and I just wasn't going to do it. So I decided I was going to get off everything. And the first time I tried that was, excuse my language, hell on earth. I laid in a bed and I screamed and I cried. I cried not only in pain, but I poured sweat. And I said, I can't do this. Go get me my medicine. My husband ran to the pharmacy and got it, came back. In a few hours, I was feeling all right again. I did at that point, though, stop all the pain medications. I just could not stop the Paxil. That is just the one I could not really stop. I did stop morphine and most of all the painkillers. And it took me about 2 weeks to really, just get to where I didn't take any of it anymore. So in February, I go out to my mom and I say, Mom, I just want to stop taking this medication. I don't want to stop taking everything. At that point, I was just on the Paxil and the estrogen because through the years, I'd tried to stop Paxil and I couldn't. So I said, okay, Mom, I want to get off of this. And she was just like, oh boy, because she knows how I am. I can get kind of out there. And she thought, oh boy, this is going to be fun. Let me tell you. So at that point in time, we already had oils on our line with Sassafras. My mom goes back into the warehouse, pulls out some bottles, looks up online some things, hands me a bottle, and she says, this is what we're going to do it with. And it's what you now know as the calming roll. I took that calming roll, and every time I felt agitated, or I felt like a panic attack was coming on, or I just felt ill as a snake, I would take it and rub it right behind my ears on my neck. And I just stopped. I didn't have to have it anymore. Now, I'm not telling you medically wise to do this. I'm just telling you my story. I'm not a doctor. Don't, say, oh, Marissa says just quit taking it and rub this on. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying this works for everybody. I'm saying it worked for me. Okay. So I rubbed this on and I cold turkey quit with no withdrawals. Now, any of you have ever been on depression medicine, they'll tell you you can't get addicted to it. They're lying to you. You try to come off of that, and you know that it is not fun. I didn't lay in bed this time and sweat. I didn't lay in bed and cry. I didn't lay in bed and have all those other nightmarish things I had before. I had tried several times. At that point in time, I realized this stuff works. Okay? Now, I live in pain every day. I just don't live on pain meds. And when I tell you I live in pain, it's not, I have a headache, my hand hurts, and I'm not trying to say somebody else's pain is not as real as mine, okay? I'm just saying that every day there are bones in my back that are breaking, and I deal with it. Completely all the way down my leg. There's some days the pain is just too much to take to even bear to walk. So I don't sit around and complain about it. I don't sit around and whine about it. I do what I can do, and I save my energy for things that I know, mean something to me, and I want to do it. But I use oils to help me with pain. I take baths with oils. I love frankincense. It is great for relieving pain, inflammation, arthritis. Our arthritis roll is wonderful on the go. I can just rub it on my back and get some great relief. Once again, it's not a cure-all, and my pain is extremely high considering the normal person's. So I know if it's getting me out of some pain, it's basically taking pain away for a lot of people. And that is why I'm so passionate about our oils, because I know the power and help and benefits they can give people. That's just my story. Each one of my children have a story. My daughter has asthma. She no longer uses an asthma inhaler. She now uses oils. My husband had MRSA this past year. His doctors couldn't figure out how we had cured it so quickly. And I don't want to say cured it, but how it healed up so quickly. And it was because we were using tea tree oil, which is proven to help with MRSA. In fact, many hospitals have actually started using that now for MRSA that antibiotics don't respond to. So my question is why not go with something natural to begin with instead of using an antibiotic? But that's just me, I guess. Let's see. There's just endless countless things. My other daughter, she has allergies severely bad. She was born with a snotty nose, and for the first 5 years of her life, she walked around with snot on her nonstop until she was old enough to keep herself kind of cleaned up. Not that I was a bad mom, it just ran nonstop with her. And, we had her tested, and she is nearly allergic to everything, it seems like. Um, so, and my dad has gout to the point where it is terrible to even walk. I've seen this man who is so strong not even be able to get up and move. The pain is so bad. And he uses it now. And, my mom has arthritis in her fingers, and that's how she became a believer. Is she happened to be in the warehouse helping with the oils, and a bottle spilt on her hand that has arthritis in it, and she was like, "Oh my goodness, this is amazing! It's just amazing! You got to try it, Marissa. It's gonna be so beneficial to your back pain." So I was like, okay. So what I'm getting at is this is what drives me about oils. I hear so many stories from reps, from family members of reps, from customers, from my own family, from my own experience. It's just truly amazing. And if you haven't tried it, I highly suggest that you give it a try. Uh, start with lavender, peppermint. Those are essentials that we really, everybody should have in their cabinets because they're very versatile. You can use them for a lot of things, for stress, for cuts, for bruises, uh, the list, for sleep. The list goes on and on and on about what you could use just lavender for. And peppermint is great for, headaches, pain, things like that. But, just get out there and try it. I really suggest people try it because it really is so amazing how much it can change your life. If nothing else, you can get rid of like a really lot of bad stuff in your cabinet, like cleaning supplies. If you don't want to use it on your body, if you don't want to use it as a remedy, let's say, you could get rid of a lot of chemicals in your home by using it for cleaning purposes. You can double them up and use them for both. So oils are powerful. Oils are wonderful. I hope you take time to learn about them. And I hope that you give them a try and let them change your life like it has mine.